In this video, I want to give you guys some riding tips. I want to do this from time to time in this group. Again, this is all about safety, and one of the big things that the statistics show is that most riders involved in accidents have not received specific training. And that seems odd to me. I mean, we all should get as much training as possible. There are safety courses out there. They're not as expensive as they used to be. Even if you've been riding for 20, 30 years, they recommend that you update and get another training course done. You can increase the level of advanced skills in these training courses, and everyone has things that they can learn. So what I want to do is provide these videos from time to time that point out a safety tip. You can watch it real quick. Hopefully it reminds you of something. Who knows, maybe it'll save you from having to put your bike down. So today's tip, I want to talk about the situation where you're entering a blind curve and you end up hitting with your front tire either loose gravel, sand, leaves, grass, whatever it is, hazard on the road, but you're hitting it on a blind curve. And how can you keep your bike up and not lose control when this kind of situation happens? And funny enough, the rule is avoid it in the first place. Well, that seems simple, but here's what they mean by that. There are two simple rules for everyone, no matter what your skill level, that can help you avoid this scenario. And that is speed and vision. So speed is very important when you're coming into the curve. And the rule of thumb there is slow in, fast out. So it talks about pace, and you want to go at a pace coming into the curve where you are fully under control of your motorcycle, and more importantly, are able to avoid something that you see on the road. If you're going too fast, obviously you're not going to have enough time to do a defensive maneuver to avoid that object in the roadway. Number two dovetails into that first rule, which is you need to increase your vision as much as possible. So what the experts recommend is when you're going into a blind curve, you want to go as wide as possible to give yourself as large of a field of vision as possible so you can see what's on the roadway ahead of you in your lane. So those are the simple, no matter what your skill level, tricks to try to avoid this type of incident. Now there are some advanced skills. They recommend that you try these out and test them first. And again, you will learn a lot of these things in advanced training courses and things like that that most of us need to be taking from time to time. And so the first one is called trail braking. All right. And what you're doing here is you are coming into the curve, and it's recommending that you brake all the way to the apex of the curve using your front brake. All right. And then what they want you to do is use that front brake as you're going in the apex. As you come to the apex of the curve, you are then swapping brake for throttle. And again, it lining up with that initial rule of thumb is that slow in, fast out of the curve. Now the theory here is when you're applying the brake, your front tire will expand. It gives your tire more tread if it does hit this gravel to consume it and not lose control of the bike. Again, it's one of the more advanced skills. You want to practice this a little bit. Another one, and it's a very controversial one, used by police in their training overseas, and it's obviously a rule violation of the roads here in America, but to the extent you can do this safely, it may help. Again, toward the second general rule, which is maximizing your field of vision going into the curve and getting as broad as you can as you're entering the curve, they suggest using the full width of the road. So if that means going into the opposite lane of travel so you are as wide as possible as you're coming into that curve, the better. Now, obviously, you need to make sure if you're doing this, no one else is around. You don't want any officers around that could cite you into oncoming traffic. Please be very, very careful. But police officers are trained how to do this, so it must be effective. So again, I hope these will help you, give you a little bit of a quick refresher as you're entering turns. I know a lot of folks love going on Dragon's Tail that has all those winding curves and everything. This is great advice for using on the Dragon's Trail. Hope this helps. I will keep doing some of these videos from time to time on different aspects of wrecks and some of the training techniques that you can employ to try to avoid it. Thanks for watching this video.